listening to
A to the K.
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 A to the K. Wrestle Talk Podcast.
Check it out. Change your life. You'll be thanking me later.
Right. So, as promised, we've got a fantastic one for you. We've got the an interview with the one and only Mera Mera, Thunder Rosa.
Said it right.
So,
Are you from,
is what? Sorry.
are you from Scotland?
No, we're from Liverpool. Hopefully, the accent doesn't throw you a little bit because we know.
Storm, like Nikki's a good friend of mine, so I thought you were from Scotland.
Oh, cool.
I actually I have a lot of family from Scotland, so there may be a little bit of that in there, but no, we're in the north, but not that far north, sadly. Okay. So, firstly, we just wanted to thank you for being on our podcast. We know you're obviously incredibly busy at the minute. Certainly since everything with AEW. I know you've been on a few of the bigger podcasts. We've seen you on the likes of What Culture and the like as well. So we know that your schedule's absolutely manic at the moment. So yeah, hopefully we won't take up too much of your time. I'm hoping we actually managed to fill the 30 minutes, to be honest. But
I'm like,
firstly,
I'm like, Johnny, sorry.
That's all good.
But yeah, no, fair. So we'll start it off if we could. And I just wanted to ask, like, obviously from our side, certainly for me and Carl, but for a lot of people, their introduction to Thunder Rosa was you turning up on AEW. So obviously your promos and your subsequent matches. So the first thing I wanted to ask really was, how's your experience been with AEW and the AEW fan base? Sort of how have you found this sort of additional sort of fan base and attention, really, I suppose?
It's been amazing. I mean, we've been working so hard on growing our platform for the last 6 years. And being in this platform, AEW, like, it really just exploded everything. And a lot of the fans, after my first match, and even after the first promo, the response was overwhelmingly positive, which is, even in the Twitter life, it's really hard to,
Oh yeah,
be but we have grown and we have groomed our fan base to a point in where they understand that it's a mutual respect thing, and we send them love. We always take care of them when we can. We respond them with we get them engaged, and that's what we like to do. So the two matches, the first two matches that I had, it was an overwhelming response of positive things. And then later on, like the same, like they've been super supportive. I had a great time working at AEW. Again, I probably work with like 70% of the people that work there right now in the indies and in other TV shows. So it was really nice to see a lot of them and just catch up with them and meet legends of the ring and receive feedback from them. That was, like, I think, one of the cherry on the top. And just seeing the process of running a TV show the way that they do. And for me, production is one of the things that I'm very interested in. So I'm like always just kind of like creeping on, like, asking a gazillion questions. Yeah. And I really enjoy it. I said in another interview, like, on this particular experience in my career, I want to make sure I was present, that I wasn't thinking, oh my God. I mean, I was getting stressed out about my matches, of course, because they were like very big, but I didn't want that to be like the only thing that I was focusing on. I wanted to focus on engaging with new fans, new people, new women that I know that didn't work before, to like be a positive person there, to share my experience and again, to really enjoy the fact that I'm traveling to Jacksonville. I'm working every week for like whatever long that was, and just really cherish that. And that's what I did. Reconnecting with old friends. It was really cool. Running in a new place is another thing that I like to do when I go to the places. I run in close to where we stay at. I think I ran like 3-4 miles, and it was beautiful. Just being close to the water, eating delicious food. Yeah, it was really good. I really did enjoy it. Went to the Jacksonville Jaguars game. Had a great time. Had to leave early because I was like, if I stay here, I'm gonna get in trouble because I'm gonna drink too much. But it was great.
We all like a drink.
We do.
I love beer. I love beer. I love craft beer. When I was in London for a month, like I gained like 5 pounds just in beer, and it was like stout. I love stout and
Oh,
stout
yeah,
has
yeah.
much alcohol. I was like, yeah, chocolate, yeah, coffee, like,
All
and
the
it was
flavors.
free. That is free. It's dangerous. So, but yeah, going back to the AEW, I had a great time. I got a great experience, and well, now thanks to that, I'm able to like you guys are reaching out and everything. So I'm doing a lot of interviews, and yeah, it's been a great experience.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, I mean, certainly, obviously for us, as I say, if we're being honest, that was our introduction to Thunder Rosa. But I mean, it's even led me to, admittedly, I've only just started, but I've started to watch NWA because of it, because we're seeing some of the talent coming from there and thinking these people are amazing. What else has NWA got to offer, So it's had a positive effect on the other side.
That is an important part, I think, of this partnership that NWA has with AEW. Is not only they're allowing us to bring what we have as far as talent, like especially for me being the NWA Women's Champion, but also it makes some of their fans or they're curious about what the NWA, the current NWA, is all about. And then you go to YouTube and watch NWA Power, and you guys get to see some matches that you didn't get to see while you were watching me in AEW. So
exactly, yeah.
And you can see that I told you, like, the style that I brought to AEW is the same style that I bring in NWA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a dog, a 5'3", 130-pound little crazy bitch ready to fight.
And that's what we love about you. So I suppose then you mentioned, you'd worked with like 70% of these guys before, maybe on the indies. What kind of, AEW's kind of given that platform to a number of wrestlers now, from the independent scene who haven't necessarily had that limelight, who fully deserve it. How important do you think it is to kind of have promotions on the scale of AEW that are open to this kind of cross promotion and shining the spotlight on different talent?
Important. I mean, a lot of the talent that I know, they've been working tirelessly for years, decades, and just doing dark or doing a squash match. It's an opportunity for them just to like be out there and get extra followers. And I now in the COVID era, it's all about social media, because a lot of people just started wrestling like a month ago. Everything has been closed, so that is so important. And having AEW, WWE, I don't know, WWE is not doing as much as right now because of COVID, but having that, it's so important, because not only, I mean, it is a booking, it is a paycheck, but it's also an opportunity for them to get other bookings from. So, like I said, to me, it hasn't been so much about getting other bookings in other places. It's like helping me broaden my brand and my platform in social media. And as you guys can see, Instagram, I'm almost hitting 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
That is, and it's like not followers that I bought, it's like natural followers. And it's amazing, which is just gonna open up many, many doors for me for sponsorships in the future, for what I'm working on my Patreon, for what I'm working on YouTube, for what I'm working on my website, for what I'm working on Mission Pro Wrestling. It's just gonna make it better and better. And like, honestly, to me, that helped me so much to bring the name of Mission Pro Wrestling, which is another thing that I've been working tirelessly with my team to bring more attention to it. And it's not to brag or anything, but I just
no, I mean, to be fair, one of the things we wanted to ask about, sorry, Carl, because I'm going to jump ahead slightly, but we did want to talk to you about Mission Pro Wrestling, because obviously anyone who's listening who's not aware of it, this is it's owned by yourself, am I right in saying? Yeah. And is an all women's promotion.
Yes.
So I just wondered, in relation to Mission Pro, if you could sort of maybe tell us how that came about, how you ended up with your own promotion.
We had Mission Pro for about a year already, and we were on a standstill because of COVID. And due to a speak out, we decided to change it to all female. So I'm a co-owner of Mission Pro. My husband and one of my best friends, which is family, we all own Mission Pro. But I am the face of Mission Pro Wrestling as an owner or co-owner of the company. We want to focus on employing most women in there on pretty much every aspect, and grow it to a way in where we're grooming the talent that work for us in a way that they haven't been groomed before. I know it's just for some of them it's just an indie booking, but it's more than that. It's like we are creating a collective of women of different parts of the world that are coming here, or that I'm going and reaching out and putting them out there so people can see who they are. That otherwise they wouldn't have that opportunity. Is like the opportunity for us to bring some of our talent here in Texas to maybe wrestle in Mexico, wrestle in Puerto Rico, maybe wrestle in Japan. Like give them like real opportunities. And that otherwise they wouldn't have, or they'll have to work even harder to do that. I'm in a very nice spot right now where I have worked with so many different people in different parts of the world, and I am respected for the work that I do because I work really hard for what I have and what I have earned.
Of course, yeah.
And I want to share that the little that I have with other girls. Because when I leave the business, I don't want to be stingy and be like, well, it was all me. No, I want to share that. I want to experience what I have experienced, to see the world the way that I saw it, even if I had to fly myself. But at the same time, it's like I found opportunities and that opened doors for me to come back, and now they're taking care of me. It's all about investing in yourself. This is all about
course,
people don't understand that professional wrestling is being your entrepreneur, is being your own boss. You have to find ways to make it successful. Otherwise, you're going to stay in the same area for 10, 20 years and be the champion of the same promotion. If that's your goal, that's fine. But if you want to grow, if you want to be seen, and you want to be undeniable, you have to do the work. And this is like one of the things that I am preaching every single day to every woman and every girl that I see in the ring. I'm like, hey, do you want to wear costumes? Hey, do you want to go here? Hey, have you heard about this? Have you tried this? It's like that. I mean, there's so many very successful professional wrestlers right now. I can mention Jordan Gray's number one. She's been very successful at being an independent contractor. Right now, she's an Impact. But she made a name for herself on social media, the way that she did it, on her own terms. And right now, her and her husband, they bought their house. She's been in the business since she was 14, and she's been busting her ass to be where she's at right now. And I have mad respect for her on that aspect, because she's an entrepreneur, and she's done all kinds of stuff to make a living. And she is a great wrestler. I mean, that's not a question.
Oh yeah.
Allison Kay, she was one of the first ones that started bringing Patreon into this business. And she's been very successful at that. She's been in many different companies, and she's been very successful, and she is a great wrestler. So they have found ways to become independent and not depending on, let's say, that paycheck. Even if it's gone, they still have like income coming in. And that's one of the most important things as professional wrestlers, when we have injuries or anything, that we have income coming in, and we don't feel like it's the end of the world if something terrible happens. Yeah. So that is one of the things that we're working in Mission Pro, and also teaching them how to be ready for working a show where they have different cameras, different angles, telling a good story. I mean, we have Jazz as our agent. Jazz is a very knowledgeable professional wrestler and a legend.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
Very proud to be partnering with her. Robin Reed is our agent. Is our booker, and we're always throwing ideas. Like I said, we're no promotion. We're trying something different, and some things work, some things don't. But we're trying everything because we really want to make it work, and we really want to make a difference, and we want to create a movement, and where other women like me are asking for spaces and they're asking for opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. I think We just think it's amazing the work that you're doing with Mission Pro at the moment. It kind of really fell really nicely in terms of the timing on this, because obviously this week's podcast we're kind of focused on women's wrestling, and obviously linking in with who we believe is genuinely one of the best women's wrestlers today in yourself. So we wanted to know how you feel around, you know, the current wrestling scene, how important you think it is for, you know, things like intergender matches and things like that, of changing the landscape of women's wrestling, all the things you mentioned, where there's now these, with Mission Pro, for example, where that the women can learn all these different aspects of it and kind of go on and get those bookings.
I think bottom line, we need more spaces for women to wrestle.
Yeah.
I think we're not going to get any better if we only have one women's match in every single show in the country. There was a collective this week, and I was super happy to see a lot of my friends there, a lot of my coworkers there that were females that were working there, but I don't think there was enough spaces for us again.
Yeah.
It's just the truth. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And my husband says that I need to be more careful. No, there's not. And again, we are not going to get any better if we don't work hard. And even when we have the space, we have to show why we deserve it. Always.
Yeah.
That's my mentality. Because a lot of people feel that women's wrestling sucks. It's 2020.
No.
People still do. The commentary, when I hear commentary, I cringe when some of the stuff, like some of the moves don't come out well, and like the commentary just don't even cover it. It's just like, oh my God. Like, I mean, there's still a lot of work to do. There's still a lot for us to do. But again,
that's fair. Although, like, personally for me, your match with Hikaru Shida was my match of the night when it comes to the All Out pay-per-view. Yeah. Absolute quality
stole
of the
show,
match.
100%.
And stole the show, definitely, 100%.
Yeah, but that you asked me, yes, and in women's wrestling is getting way better. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of women that are really taking this serious, and it's being shown by some of the matches that are being put out there. Women versus women or intergender. I love intergender. I haven't done intergender in a minute, but that's one of the things that I did for a long time. And I think, I mean, we all wrestle men. We train with men. I train with men in MMA. I train with in wrestling. So it's not a big deal. But again, there's stigma from it. But if it's done right,
undeniably. I mean, you can see with the likes of not to name drop, but WWE seem very squeamish about intergender matches for some reason. But they can still be incredible matches. So I'm not sure why they are so sort of.
Well, because it's something that it hasn't been like mainstream for a long time. I mean, it is mainstream in Mexico that you have, you know, the exoticos and the midgets and the women. They're always a man. Here's so that's not part of the culture. It's like you wrestle men and women wrestle women. But the funny thing is, like in the Carney days, Mildred Burke, she used to wrestle men. In the Carnies, and then she was undefeated. I think only one guy defeated her, apparently, but it wasn't on the records. So I mean, that's what it used to be before they created the Trupettes with women. 30s, 1940s. So it's like I said, it's all about, it's waves. Everything comes in waves. So, and history repeats itself all the time on everything.
Yeah. No, definitely a fair way of looking at it. So thinking of, just while we're on the topic of Mission Pro Wrestling, I believe you've got a tournament coming up, or the Tournament of Hell on the 6th of November.
Yeah.
In which you'll be competing against Ray Lynn for the NWA Women's title, if I'm correct in saying. So how do you feel about going into that match? Obviously, you've got not a similar background, but you've both got that sort of martial arts background to you. Are you? Is she someone you've worked with before, actually?
Yes, she's a really good friend of mine. When I told her she was wrestling the NWA Women's Champion, I was like, this is the match that you probably never had in your life before. I am going to push her to her limit. This is going to be a 20-25 minute match. Every time I have step in the ring to defend my championship, I have to defend it For real. This is not a match where I come and twerk. This is not a match where I come and dance. This is where I'm at, and she needs to be ready. I know she has some martial arts background. She does, I think she used to do kickboxing or something, or karate or something like that before. But I don't think I've seen her. I've known her for a while. I don't think I have seen her super aggressive the way that she will be with me in the ring. Like, she's going to have to pull every single trick she has on her bag because I'm bringing everything. And she knows every single match that I have is not the same as the one before. I always bring something new to the table. So, she knows she's going to die. The time over comes, I started my new training regimen and my new diet. So I want to look like a freaking machine. So, and I'm gonna perform like a machine. So, yes.
Yes. No, it's definitely one we look forward to. And with that in mind, obviously for the likes of ourselves across the pond in the UK, is there anywhere online that they can go to access these matches and watch this tournaments?
Yes, you guys can watch it on titlematchnetwork.com live anywhere in the world. So you can subscribe to the page and get it. I think it's $9.99 a month, and you have access to a bunch of incredible shows, matches, all kinds of stuff. Title Match Network is one of the best places to watch wrestling. I love working with them. We've been working with them for about a year, and not to brag, like I was gonna tell you earlier, we have been one of the most watched shows ever on the network. And he
understandably.
And he has all kinds of people there. And we had probably at one point we had 3,000 people watching the feed for our debut show. That's actually pretty good. Very, very good.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, definitely. Something else as well about Mission Pro, we noticed you guys are offering the concept of ordering custom matches, which sounds like a really cool, interesting kind of concept. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's very simple. The prices are on the website, www.wrestling. We use some of our talent that work the show, either the night prior to a show or the night after. You can book the match however you want. It could be intergender. It can be male versus male, female versus female, tag team, whatever. And you create your own story. It can be cinematic. It could be just straight MMA shoot style. It could be whatever you want within the boundaries of what we have established there. We,
of course, yeah.
Have all our talent have their own boundaries and how they feel comfortable depending on moves that they want to do or not. And we always ask them before we accept matches, and our customers are very understanding of that. So you guys can see some of the pictures, you guys can see some of the videos there. They're all available. Everything we do, we put it on sale after we're done sending it to our customers. But so far it's been really good. It's been really fun. I was talking to somebody in the Philippines right now before you guys, and we were talking about one of my favorite matches, which was Holidad versus Alex, and Holidad was a witch and took Alex's soul and possessed and stuff. It was really cool. So you can get very creative. Yeah. We're open for those kind of. I love recording those. Those are my favorite because they're different. It's not like pile driver, so, No, it's like, I'm gonna choke you with his chains and yes, let's do that. It's really fun. I think it's really fun. It's another way to be creative, and some of my guys really like it because they can get to be creative and they get to be a different character that they usually portray in regular shows. And also it could be very lucrative for some of them after they get 3, 4, 5 orders, depending on how long the orders are. I can tell you personal experience doing this for 5 years. I have made more money at times doing that than getting a regular booking.
Wow.
And it's been really sad because, you're like, man, you're such an excellent wrestler. And I'm like, dude, do you understand how much I struggle to make a living being a great wrestler? Just wrestling Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, barely getting paid sometimes because people don't want to pay you. And I go and do custom matches. I do 2, 3, 4, and I already made money for my whole entire month.
It's crazy.
So it is
insane. I think as well, So like what, one of the questions that we had, so we put it out on Reddit for some questions as well, and the most upvoted question we got, which we are firm believers in as well, is how did you get so good so fast? Like, you've only been in kind of the business since 2014ish, and as you said, like you are widely seen as one of the best to do it. So how did that happen?
I have a lot of passion, and I have a lot of dedication and commitment to this business. I want to show that I'm an athlete. I'm a professional. And I treat this as a professional athlete. The way that I train, the way that I eat, the way that I conduct myself, the way that I do business with people. I want to be considered a professional, and it has to be inside and outside of the ring. Because I've been put in positions and where it's trial by fire, you better perform. And that started with Lucha Underground. No, actually, it started when I went to Japan. I was not even 3 months in, and I was sent to Japan for 3 months. So I got to show that I can perform. I didn't have the skills. I was very green. My first match was horrible because I forgot all the spots. I didn't know that I had to memorize all of them, and nobody spoke. Trial by error. I messed up the first month. I got a concussion, and I learned right in there that I have to perform and memorize. And what was the other thing that I always say? Adapt to your environment. You have to adapt to your environment. If not, you're going to fail. And that's what I've been doing since I remember. And that right there, going to Japan was a wake-up call for me on everything, on the business, on how people of color are treated, or how people that are older are treated in the business. If I wanted to do something, I had to do it on my own because nobody will do it for me. People didn't believe in my talent. And I knew I was very talented. And I knew I was money. But nobody believed that. Nobody will give me a chance.
I bet they believe it now.
Yeah, you definitely showed them.
No, but because it's like, I don't sit around to wait for people to give me stuff. If I don't get it, I'm going to make the opportunity. That's it. We're 2020. You have every single skill. If I can't have $50 to spend on a restaurant on margaritas, which I would do, of course, I can save that same amount of money, invest it on merchandise, and get 3 or 4 times more that I invested. The same thing that I do women's professional wrestling. I can use some of the money that I made and I save, invested in a company, and get 3 times that money and invest it on my girls.
Yeah.
And give them work. Because if they get work, I get work. And I know this is just gonna grow. It's not it's not gonna be all about me. I already established my name, and I will continue to establish my name. Now it's time to cement the legacy. Keep working on
that,
keep working, keep getting better, but I have to cement my legacy. Because if I want to go to the big leagues, the ones that I will have, it says owned by or property of, I have to do everything I wanted to do before I get owned by a big company.
Yeah, no, I understand that. It takes away some of the freedom, doesn't it, to be fair?
Yeah, because I won't be able to do what I love to do, which is, building other women in the indie scene, the women in my community. I'm very big community-based person. I organized people when I was younger. I worked in social work before. So this is very important to me as a human being, as a woman of color. I want to empower other women. Didn't matter their color, whatever. To become
we can see the passion you have for it, to be fair.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I get very passionate about it.
No, it's brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's that's what makes sort of Mission Pro Wrestling so unique.
Yeah, it is. Sorry. And it's telling you, like, I can't really talk about it because, like, it's on the works, but there's a lot of stuff they're gonna be like, oh my God, like, you already doing it? Like, when I tell my sponsors whatever money they are putting on here, then they're gonna see something back in the company that we're investing in our ladies. Like, that's why I am so, like, moved that on this second show we had 14 sponsors. 14 sponsors.
Wow.
Yeah.
They believe in what we're doing. They believe that the ladies that stay with us for a minute, they will see results. Not everybody's gonna get them right away, But as long as like we get 1 or 2 and we give them that opportunity, that's it. And then make sure that we tell them, when is your time to give, you give something to somebody else without expecting anything in return. That's the whole thing. It happened to, like, people took care of me when I was in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Fuka-san took care of me when I was like very concussed, and she went out of her way to help me. Kimura-san did the same thing when I was in a concussion. And then every time I came back to Japan, she still like calls me as like, you need anything. That's another one. When I went to Mexico City, the ladies over there, they didn't have much, and they like drove my husband, like took us to places, they fed us, like all that stuff. Who else? Nikki Storm and Starfire, when I was in Japan, they saw me that I was struggling with wrestling. They pulled me on the side and they give me extra training. They took care of me when I needed it in that moment. I don't forget that kind of stuff.
No.
Yeah.
It's great to see you pay forward as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, you have to have that mentality in order to change things in the wrestling business. Because for the longest, it's always been like, oh, if you're on top, you want to keep you. Yeah, of course I want to stay on top. No, everybody does. And I'm going to work harder than anybody else to stay on top. But if you want a spot, you have to work hard and you have to give back. Otherwise, it's just like the same shit that we've been dealing with. Like eating dog and like, jealousy and all this stuff. Yeah, the reason why people get jealous and the reason why people get envious is because they're not confident about themselves.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
That's it. Jealousy comes from confident and not feeling that you can do it. But once you get that, it doesn't matter if you are on top one day and then your confidence is not going to change. And that's what I want to teach the girls. Whatever you go, whatever your journey is, be happy with it. Enjoy the journey. And then when you achieve your goal, be happy. And then now you can move on. But enjoy the moment. Enjoy the journey. Help out. If somebody's negative, put them aside, moving forward.
No, it's the right way. It's such a positive message. And obviously, definitely as a part of changing the landscape of wrestling as a whole, but women's wrestling specifically. So I just wanted to ask, in relation to your sort of character work, because obviously wrestling is very theatrical. When you came into AEW, you were very much, I know they don't really put the labels on it in AEW, but you're very much a face character. Because obviously we're also pumped about getting you to come along and be a part of AEW. But you've obviously played the heel role in NWA. So for me, I'm just curious, do you have a preference? Do you prefer playing the villain role or in terms of character work, or do you prefer the face?
I like face because you can like really sell and you sell more merchandise. But I mean, heel is really fun because that's me. Like, I'm always talking shit. Like, I'm always I'm a spicy fajita. Nikki Storm used spicy fajita, like, because that's my nature. Like, we're very like soap opera style of heel.
Yeah.
I'm just running our mouth and doing everything and whatever. But I'm very strong-willed. I think that's what it is, and like it just comes a lot more natural. But when I'm babyface, It's just like I'm your fire babyface. I'm not your like super like that's not me. No,
I mean that's fair. I mean Thunder Rosa as a character was just certainly came into AEW when we saw it as like a badass for lack of a better way of putting it. So even as a face character, it's still that sort of, like you say, that fiery character as well.
Yeah, I mean that's me, man. Like I was just telling the Filipino guys, I was like, it's what you guys see there. That's me. Like turn it up into 50,000.
Awesome.
What are you drinking?
I'm Jack Daniels.
Oh, I was like,
I will stress though, it's not the morning time here, so it's fine.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, as they say. Well, yeah, so I'm obviously conscious of time, so I just want to say thank you very much again for speaking to us today.
Well, thank you so much, guys. I'm sorry, you guys make questions and then I just keep talking and then you're like, you need to.
No, I mean, to be honest, it helps us a little bit because if we're being honest, we are completely in awe. I mean, it's really kind of surreal to see someone on TV and on NWA on YouTube and then be having a conversation with them is honestly quite surreal. So no, we appreciate that. It's fantastic.
I'm like the most real person ever. Like I'm just like when you guys are on you on TV, and then they'll like, oh. I'm like, you're hugging my stuff. Just drug it up. But yeah. Well, thank you guys for having me. My social media is at Thunder Rosa 22 on all my handles, and missionprowrestling.net. That's where you guys can actually, we uploaded single matches. If you guys want to purchase the matches, you can purchase them there. Single, that says the single match, or you can purchase the whole show. I think it's gonna be uploading pretty soon. And then we have all our merchandise that is sent to all over the world. There's ways that you guys can contact us there to do that. We're also open for sponsorships. All the sponsorships can come from absolutely everywhere in the world. We don't say no to your money. I think you guys will see what we're trying to build for the next couple months in the future. I mean, it's gonna be pretty good. I am very excited. A lot of the ladies are very excited from all over the place all over the places that I've talked so far. They're very, very excited to work with us. Because I tell you, like, wrestling has opened the doors, the floodgates for me to talk to other women that I just as passionate as I am about professional wrestling and about changing the landscape of women's professional wrestling. So thank you. And my website is www.thunderrosa.net. My merchandise is there, and it's sent to all over the world too.
Awesome. I'll definitely pick
some. Thanks again for your time, and we do greatly appreciate it, and we look forward to following on your journey as well as Mission Pro Wrestling's. It's going to be fantastic seeing.
It's gonna be one. It's never been your cookie cutter journey. It's just there's always something for me.
Brilliant. Okay, so thanks again